Okay, this is going to be a mini step showing you how I'm going to prepare my leaves and the edge of my sparrow. I'm going to use a dome cap and some tacky glue. I don't want this to be too wet, so I'm going to start by just edging my white paper with ink. The bottom one is fern, and the reason I'm not going to use paint, this is, by the way, is watercolor pencils. So, oh, that's the wrong color. That's all right. So some of that might show through. But I figure if I got the color on, that it wouldn't show much, and then I can trim it more after I glue it. Now I like putting things on, or at least a little bit I've done with art, what is it called, art journaling, is using acrylic medium to attach my papers. But the first papers here, these leaves, I want them pretty flat, so I'm going to put them on with tacky glue. Now the leaves go down here, and so I'm just going to add a little bit of the green here. Oops. And we'll add more colors and such later, but this is so I won't worry too much. There we go. Okay, I won't worry too much about the wetness as I deal with the back of my page, because I want to do this whole corner section and get it nice and trimmed. I can add more ink later to the edges. So the only part I'm going to glue here this part gets whoop, gee, oh, I grabbed a new one. Let me grab an old one. Okay, the only part I'm going to attach here are the tops of these leaves, so I'll have the right position when I use the matte gel for the others. This color is going underneath. And I just want the other leaf to go over it nicely. So I'm attaching it there. Actually, the bird that might go over the bird, so I'm wiping off that glue and not attaching it. Okay. Now I'm going to remove my bird and place this one as close as I can to the edge. And like I said, I will be trimming it more, but at least with this green underneath, it will not look, it won't look white. That's what I'm trying to avoid, is white without a lot of paint. So I'm going to put this whole one on, and I can leave some edges open down there, so I can put on top if I want, or something underneath, but just want it in the right place. Top one, nothing will be going under because it's near the edge. Now, I know art journaling is pretty free spirit, but because I want to highlight my brother's life on this, I want to have room for pictures, which I've printed on index card, and I want some white space so it's not too cluttered looking. And I think that's all I'm going to do on that page. Okay, now I'm going to flip the page over. I'm going to put this on top of it so that it won't stick. Whoop, keep touching the camera, sorry. And I'm flipping the page over. Let's move this over a bit. Now for this one, I'm going to use a print for my big one. And the dark green again, the New England Ivy for this one. So I'm going to just accent this color, this white, with the New England Ivy. And I'll attach that. So you can see this isn't perfectly lined up. If I can line the one underneath it up, then it won't matter that there's not white under it. I think there'll still be enough strength to hold it. Now, this one is going to have a bird on it. It's not going to have the big words on the back. It's just going to have the reverse bird. And so on the top, I don't think I'm going to put a lot of glue because I want to put some matte gel underneath and collage up there with some light colors. So I'll just put a little glue on this. This one will be attached. So I'll put glue on every single leaf and even on the stem. Oh, maybe just the top of the stem so we can put collage underneath. We can even put collage over it actually. And since this leaf on the other side is sticking out from the white, I'm going to make sure it lines up well. I see a piece of hair. Okay, I'm going to change the angle a little to get this bottom one in the hole. So this, by cutting out the edge even roughly, it gives me a good indication on where I should place the leaf. The bird's going to go over the bottom edge, and I can always add more ink later. So just running, let's see, I'm only going to do the bottoms of the leaves to attach them. You can always flip them up and paintbrush under with the medium gel. These ones I'll do whole because they're near the edge. There. I think that'll be enough adhesive. I'm going to line this one up with the bottom. I think I'll lift, since it's still wet, I'm going to lift, I'm going to lift that leaf so it overlaps. Now, this part here, that is not, I keep getting a piece of hair stuck to my finger here. This part, I'm only doing, all of these are flippy, so I can put something under them like the collaging or paintbrush or matte gel. With these ones I want pretty much down. After I trim this, when it's nice and dry, I will use my dome brush again and just do the edges so there's no white showing. So I now have my leaves on, and this will flap under and sit on later. I need a little, I'm going to put a little more green here just to remind me that a lot of this will be covered when I go to add my collaging. And the bird, I think I'll just tear this corner off. The bird on the other side won't have the same exact pattern overlapping because it won't have this bottom part, but the birds will be in the same position. And I'll probably add a color around the bird with this also. Okay, that's all I'm doing now. I want this glue, this tacky glue, to dry well before I start playing with my gel medium and collaging the edges of my page, and before I add my index card pictures. So, mini step 1. Enjoy my tribute to my brother.